Hello, everybody. It's Teacher Ian here, and it is, what day is it? Tuesday. Welcome to tonight's Learn Canadian English live stream. And tonight we are going to learn about appointments, making appointments, changing appointments, canceling appointments, all that good stuff. So this is a really good lesson. I think if you're learning English, if you're at about a high beginner intermediate level. This is a really important skill that we need to practice, especially if you're trying to raise your English level or you're getting ready to take your CLB assessment. As usual, please comment in the comment section, say hello, say who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. Basically, we want to hear from you. And if you are watching the replay later on Facebook or YouTube, please participate as you would if it were a live class and answer the questions, ask questions, introduce yourself, just as if it's a live class. And I will get back to you later. Before we get any further, if you haven't liked or subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. That would make us very happy, and it will help us very much. I see we have a couple people joining us already. Wayne, welcome back, Wayne. Hello, how are you? What's happening in your life? Sorry about last week. I wasn't available to do last week's class, so I had to reschedule to this week, which isn't a bad thing when you're learning about scheduling appointments. But I apologize for that. I should have given you more notice. It was a last minute thing. All right, so the plan for today is a few things. So one, we are going to learn phrases, vocabulary and expressions for scheduling, changing and canceling appointments. Two, we're going to practice your listening and reading skills by getting details in telephone and email messages. Mainly, we're going to practice listening. This is more of a listening practice. I will give you, if you want, later to practice your speaking. I'll share a link. You can join me on the live stream if you're not too shy, and you can practice making, changing, or canceling an appointment. All right, and finally, we're going to practice writing short email messages to schedule an appointment. So I'll give you a little bit of writing practice as well. So we're practicing reading, listening, speaking, writing, all of the main 4 skills. We will get some practice in this lesson. All right, and I like to talk about the CLBs quite a bit because some of you haven't taken the CLB test. Really what you're practicing with this lesson and making appointments is getting things done. You're trying to do something with the language. So scheduling an appointment, changing an appointment, that's what we call getting things done. And this applies to all levels, but especially level 3, 4, 5. This is a really good skill for you to have. All right, here's our plan. This is our outline. This is what we're doing in our lesson. We'll have a little discussion. You can introduce yourselves during this section of the lesson. Vocabulary and expressions. We have listening practice, and we have a writing a message. I didn't really do a reading activity, but more we're going to focus on writing and speaking instead of reading. Okay, here's our chance to discuss, to get to know each other a little bit. Number 1, what appointments do you make regularly? So do you make health appointments? Do you make appointments to get haircuts or to get a tattoo or get your teeth cleaned? So I want to hear from you what kind of appointments you make. And maybe you're not in Canada yet. What appointments do you expect to make in Canada? And how do you usually make your appointments? Do you make them by phone? Do you use email? Is there an app? Something like that that helps you to schedule your appointments. So I'll be quiet for a few seconds, give you a chance to think and to type your answer into the chat. Or you can just say hello. Who are you? Where are you watching from? And you can write your answers in the chat. Maybe while I'm waiting, I'll just answer for myself. So what appointments do I make? Car appointments. I have to get my oil changed. In Canada, you have to change your tires a couple times a year. If you're not used to winter driving, most people in Canada have winter tires and summer tires. So twice a year, you're calling to make an appointment. Hi, I'd like to have my tires changed. So you will be making a lot of car appointments, and then there's oil changes and all these things. Sometimes I make health appointments, but not regularly. Don't have to make appointments to get my hair cut. As you can tell, I do that myself. What other appointments? Vet. Yes, we have 3 cats now, so we're always calling to make vet appointments. So those are the ones I mainly do: car appointments, vet appointments, and some health appointments. I like to, usually I do use the phone. It's faster, it's easier. But I know that if you're just learning English, telephone can be a very difficult thing to do. It's a little bit scary using the telephone because you don't see them face to face, and a lot of people are more comfortable using email or maybe an app to schedule their appointments. But if you want to practice, hopefully you'll get some practice speaking on the telephone tonight. All right, we have some answers. Niori is back. Hi, Niori. I generally make doctor appointments. That's great. And I prefer do appointments by online web pages. All right, we don't have a lot of like doctors and stuff that do that by web pages in Canada. Certain things you can, like if you book, say, a tour or something like that, you can do it online. But yeah, Canada's a little bit behind. A lot of things, especially health appointments, you kind of have to do it not face to face, but by the telephone. All right, thank you, Niori. Great answers. I would say I prefer to make appointments, right? Instead of do appointments, make appointments, schedule appointments, you could say, instead of do appointments. All right, great answers. Thank you for your input. Does anybody else want to answer those questions? And just write your answer in the chat. I hope it's okay that I'm sitting down. I don't know if you can tell, but today I'm sitting down. Hopefully you don't mind. Okay, so we have a few people joining us. Wayne's here, Niori's here. That's awesome. Let's move ahead. So let's think a little bit. We're going to learn some words, some vocabulary and expressions, but say you are going to schedule an appointment. In English, what vocabulary and expressions do we need to know when we schedule an appointment? So there's a lot of things that we need to know and that we need to practice to do well in this. So think about it a little bit. What types of vocabulary do we really need to practice? For us, we're going to practice verbs in tonight's lesson. So these verbs that I thought of, and we're going to use these for an activity in a second. So schedule, right? I need to schedule an appointment. We can also use book an appointment or make an appointment, right? So all of those are pretty much the same thing. To schedule an appointment, book an appointment, or make an appointment, they're all the same. We might need to cancel, right? We might need to cancel our appointment if we can't make it, or we might need to change. So number 3, change an appointment, reschedule an appointment, or postpone. Maybe that's a new word for you. Postpone just means to do it later. So you still want the appointment, but you need to change to a later time or date. All right. Maybe you need to check to see if your appointment is still happening. So maybe the weather's bad and you want to call the doctor's appointment and ask, are we still having an appointment? So you're calling to check or to confirm that your appointment is still happening. So that can be a really useful word as well. Number 5, follow up or follow up with somebody. So maybe you talked to somebody about meeting, but you didn't for sure confirm. So you just need to follow up with them, is to go back, speak with them, and make sure that you still have this appointment. All right, so number 5 is follow up with them. There's another, this is maybe a new expression too, is to squeeze in or to fit in. So this is maybe if somebody's really busy and you ask, oh, can you squeeze me in? Squeeze is to fit into a small place. So maybe you're getting a haircut and the schedule is full, but you want them to squeeze you in. Maybe it will be very fast. Maybe you can do it on the lunch break. So that can be a useful word to know as well. So squeeze in, fit in is to put an appointment in a small time slot. Come or to make it. So I can't make it to the appointment means I can't come to the appointment. Okay, so maybe this is useful if you're canceling or changing an appointment. Number 8, to take a rain check is to do it at a later time. So I can't go now. Can I take a rain check is can I do it another day? Another verb that might be useful is to come up or to pop up. So maybe I'm canceling or rescheduling an appointment because something came up. Something came up at work, so I can't make it to this appointment, or something popped up with my family, so I can't make it to this appointment. And then finally, work. We all know what work means, but in this case, we use the term work when we're scheduling appointments and say, does that work for you? No, that doesn't work for me. I can't do it. So in this case, work means it's good, right? If it works, it's good for me. I can do it. If it doesn't work, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. So these are all verbs that might be useful in making an appointment. Hopefully, you know most of them. If you're not sure, please ask. If you're not sure about any of those vocabulary, what it means, how to use it, or how to pronounce it, now's your chance to ask, because we're going to do an activity where you have to use some of these vocabulary. And if you want to practice, you can practice making a sentence. For example, you can write, can you fit me in tomorrow afternoon for a haircut? Right. So that's a good way to learn new words and to learn new vocabulary, is to practice using them in a sentence, use them in your speech if you can. The best way is to practice making an appointment, right? So try to use some of these words the next time you make an appointment in English. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to practice, or can we move on? There are lots of other vocabulary we need when we're making appointments, and we'll come across what else we need to know. Take a rain check. Okay, so maybe, Nuri, this is a new expression for you, to take a rain check. Basically, it means it comes from like the idea that if it's raining one day, you'll do it another day. Say we are going to play soccer and it's a rainy day, we can't play soccer that day. we'll do it another day. So maybe that's an easy way to remember. Basically means we'll do it another time, right? So maybe, Nuri, you're going to ask your friend to go for coffee, and your friend's busy that day. So they say, no, I'm sorry, can I take a rain check and do it another day? So take a rain check means to do it another time. You want to do it, but you're not available, so I want to do it another time. Does that make sense, Nuri? So take a rain check is to do it another time. Good question. Does anybody else have a question, or do you want to try to use any of those in a sentence? Good. Thumbs up. All right, you're welcome, Nuri. All right. Other things you need to know when making appointments. Of course, you need to know dates and times, because we always ask for or give a date and time for our appointments. Some adverbs like unfortunately or luckily might be useful. Adjectives, especially adjectives saying you can do it or you can't do it, right? So I'm free or I'm available that day. If I'm not available, I can say I'm busy, or you could say I'm occupied. So those words are good ones to know for appointments as well. Of course, you need greetings and goodbyes. So whether you're on the phone or face-to-face or even in an email. And polite language is best for scheduling appointments, right? Please, thank you, words like that. But mainly for this lesson, we're focusing on these verbs. And we've got some activities. So I think 6 sentences. You have to choose one or more of these words to finish the sentences. So hopefully you wrote them down. If not, you can take a picture on your phone or whatever you're using to participate in this lesson. And your job is to finish these sentences. And there may be more than one correct answer. So there might be one word, might be 2 words or 3 words that would work in this sentence. Try to think of all the different words that would work. We can do this one together. Hi, I'd like to, missing word, a vet appointment for my cat. So what could I say? I'd like to not do. We wouldn't say I'd like to do a vet appointment. We might say I'd like to make. Right. So Nuri, you got it. Definitely you can say I'd like to make a vet appointment. But is there any other word we can use? And if you go back to look through the word list, you might find a couple other words we could use. Excuse me. So 1 point for Nuri. Does anybody else have an answer for this one? Okay, great. Book. So we can book an appointment. We can make appointments. We can book appointments. Or I'm thinking of one more. So 3 words we could use. Starts with S. This is good spelling practice too. I'd like to 3, 2, 1. Schedule. Right? I'd like to schedule a vet appointment for my cat. So make, Nuri got make and book, and we can also use schedule. This is a hard one to spell. Some people pronounce it schedule. Some people pronounce it schedule. Mostly in Canada, we pronounce it schedule. So you do have the C, S-C-H-E-D-U-L-E. It's a hard word to to spell. But SCH, just like school, right? Schedule. Yes, that's right. That's right, Nuri. All right, so that wasn't too bad. How about number 2? We're not free on Fridays, but we can 2 words. And there are a couple options for this one as well. So maybe we're trying to make an appointment. We're not free on these days, but we can something on Thursdays. You can go back to our list of verbs from before, or you can just think what might fit in this sentence. And write your answer in the chat, just to remind you to participate. You can say it out loud, but I won't be able to hear you. But you can just type your answer into the chat. Come up. We're not free on Fridays, but we can come up on Thursday. Maybe that kind of works. This might work if you visit somebody, right? We're not free on Fridays, but we can come up on Thursdays. That sounds like you're going to visit someone. Not really an appointment, but you can use it for visiting for sure. Right? Can you come up and visit on the weekend? Yeah, we would say that, but not really for an appointment. Good try, Nuri. You're very close. Does anybody else have an answer, or do you want to try again, Nuri? Hey, Abdullah. Abdullah says we can be free on Thursday. We can be free. Yeah, you could say that. I didn't write that for an answer, but you could say that. That makes sense. We can be free on Thursdays. Sure, we're not free on Fridays, but we can be free on Thursdays. That works. I will accept that, Abdullah. Great. What I was thinking is make it. We can make it on Thursdays. Right? Make it in this case means be there. Right? Or you could say we can be there on Thursdays. So I was thinking of those ones, but Abdullah, I like your answer as well. Okay. How about this one? March 3rd doesn't blank for me. How about the 5th instead? So March 3rd doesn't for me. In this case, just one word is missing. And as usual, write your answer in the chat. What word do you think is missing? If you're just joining us, we did go over some vocabulary earlier, but you can just guess. All right. Nuri was first. Work. March 3rd doesn't work for me. Perfect. Yes, that one definitely works. And Abdullah says the same, doesn't work for me. Yeah, I had the same answer, right? So that's a really common expression, right? That works, that doesn't work. So remember that work means different things. It can mean you work at a job, but it also means that it is acceptable for you, or it's not acceptable if it doesn't work. All right, great job, you guys. I think 2 more, 3 more. This one has two missing words. Could I our appointment? Something just up. So could I? This one, there's a few words that would fit. Could I something our appointment? Something just happened, right? What's a word you can use there? All right. Nuri was first. Reschedule. Yes. Could I reschedule our appointment? Are there any more that would work in there, Nuri, or anyone else? Ah, very good. You're close. Nuri, you have the right word, but should put it in the past because come up means happen, right? But we want to say something happened before. Maybe just a few minutes ago, I got a message from somebody and now I have to change the appointment. So put it in the past. But you're on the right track for sure. But first one is correct. Could I reschedule our appointment? And you got it now, Nuri. Something just came up, right? Something just happened a minute ago. So that's great. So you said reschedule, but you could also say change our appointment, cancel our appointment. And then you could say came up or popped up. So when something pops up, it happens suddenly and you weren't expecting that to happen. So any of those words would work in that situation. Great job again. All right, how about this one? This one's a little tricky. There are 4 missing words. Hi, I'm just something, 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 something about your tattoo appointment next Thursday. Do you still want to come in? So they're making sure they're still coming to the appointment. So what would fit there? 4 words. I'll give you a hint. The first word is following. So the first word, I'm just following. And then what are the next 3 words? Following up. Does anybody know? Following up. Good. And you still need 2 more words. I'm just following up. You're close. You're very close. I'm just wondering if you come about your tattoo appointment. Doesn't quite work, Abdullah. You're on the right track. So I'm just wondering. You would just say, I'm just wondering about your tattoo appointment next Thursday. Do you still want to come in? So you could use wondering, but you wouldn't have other words with it. So let's stick with following up. I'm just following up with you. Exactly, Nuri. So we follow up with somebody, right? I'm following up with you about your appointment. That's what I meant, right? I'm just following up with you about your appointment. So this is a really good expression. When you're not sure about an appointment, maybe you want to call them a few days before and just make sure that appointment is still happening, you can use follow up with. You can use it at work. I'm following up with my coworker about the project we're working on. Or I want to follow up with a customer and see if they still want to buy from us. So follow up with somebody is a really good expression you can use in lots and lots of cases. All right, very good, you guys. Last one. And how about this one? Good morning. I'm just calling to blank that my appointment is this Friday morning. So maybe you forget, right? You forgot to write down the time, and then you want to call to, what's a word that we can use? There's a couple of words. Yeah, that works. So check works, right? Calling to check that my appointment is this Friday afternoon. Great. And there's another C word that we can use besides check. All right. Great vocabulary. Abdullah got it. Confirm. I like that word. Confirm. This is a great word. So check, confirm. You got it too, Nuri. That's awesome. Yeah, confirm or check. Either one works in that case. All right. So any questions about any of those? I think that was the last one. And then we're going to move on to some listening practice. So any questions about any of those 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Any questions about these words that we used during that practice? All right, perfect. All right, let's do some listening practice. The way this will work is I'll play the listening. Then I'll ask you a few questions. And as you're listening, keep these questions in mind. So who is speaking, or who does the person call? What appointment are they scheduling? Or what happened in this conversation? When is the appointment? Where is the appointment taking place? Why does the person need this appointment? And how? How often? How many? How is the appointment going to take place? So think about these as you're listening. And if you want to take notes, you can do it. This is really good practice for, say you're doing your CLB placement test. There's a listening test that you have to answer questions like this. And it's also good for in the classroom. And it's also practical for real world, right? If you're on the telephone, you have to listen very well. And this will help you sort of listen for the main points, but also be able to understand someone on the phone or in another situation. All right, number 1. Let's play the first one. I think it's this one. All right, I'm only going to play it once. So if you don't get it all the first time, that's okay. You can go back and watch the video again and practice later. Here we go. Hi there. I'd like to schedule a telephone appointment with Dr. Smith, please.
Of course. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Mornings work best for me. Do you have anything next Monday?
Let me check. Yes, we have an opening at 10 a.m. on Monday. Does that work for you?
Sounds good. Please book me in for that slot.
Great. I've got you down for Monday at 10 with Dr. Smith. Can I have your full name and phone number, please?
Sure. It's Tom Johnson, and my number is 555-1234.
Perfect. Tom Johnson at 555-1234. The doctor will call you next Monday at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too fast. So I have, let's say, 3 questions about that. Hi, Dementa. Demanta's here. Hi, Dementa. How are you? Welcome to our English class. I don't know if you heard that, but we just played a listening, and I'm going to ask all the students a few questions. So first question is, what kind of appointment is it? So what kind of appointment is it? So if you took notes, you can go back and check your notes. Nuri got it. It was a doctor appointment or doctors. Usually we say like a doctor's appointment. Apostrophe S or just S. I'm not sure, but usually we say doctor's appointment, and you are correct. So definitely it was a doctor's appointment. The next question is going to be when. When is the appointment? When is the appointment? So question number 2, when is the appointment? Yeah, so usually we would put, an apostrophe doctor's appointment. I just want to check that. Doctors or doctors. Yeah, so you're right. Apostrophe S, doctor's appointment. I don't know why we say the S. All right. This one, when is the appointment? Did anybody catch the day and time? Did anybody get the when is the appointment? I'll give you a clue. It starts with an M and time is in the morning. So Nuri says, I caught it, but forgot the day. So day was Monday. So the correct answer, Monday at 10 o'clock. Probably 10 in the morning. I think it said 10 a.m. on Monday. All right, and one more question and we'll move on. We asked, what was it? We asked, when was it? How about who? Who called to make the appointment? Did anybody catch the caller? Because they asked, what is your name? And then they confirmed that name. So last question is, who called for the appointment? Who called for the appointment? And your answer, Nuri, is Tom. Yes, Tom. And did anybody catch the last name? It's Tom. Pretty common name. Last name in Canada, Johnson. So the person was Tom Johnson. Very good, Nuri. Great job. Let's do another one. So we have time, I think, for one more. Okay, here we go. Everybody listen. Remember to listen for these questions. So who's calling? What's the appointment for? When is it? Where is it? why are they getting an appointment, and maybe how will the appointment take place. All right, let's do this one. Here we go.
Hello, I need to reschedule my car appointment.
Of course. What's your appointment date and time?
It's for next Thursday at 2:00 p.m. But something came up and I can't make it then.
No problem. Let me see what we have available. How about Tuesday at 10 a.m.?
Tuesday works for me. Please book me in for that slot.
All right, I've rescheduled you for Tuesday at 10 a.m. Can I have your name and car, please?
It's Alice Rodriguez, and I drive a 2014 Honda Civic. I just need an oil change.
Great. We'll see you in your 2014 Honda Civic at 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Thank you so much for your help.
Okay, that was pretty fast, but hopefully you could catch some of that. So my first question is what? What kind of appointment was it? So what kind of appointment was this person making? Was it a doctor's appointment? Was it a haircut? Good. So you got that. She rescheduled her appointment, but what kind of appointment was it, Nuri? Did you catch that? So what kind of appointment was it? So maybe that would be like why she called. She called to reschedule her appointment, but what kind of appointment was it? Okay, I'll just give you the answer. So it was didn't catch it. Okay, that's all right. It was a car appointment. So she said, let me see. It came up later. Like I didn't say exactly it's a car appointment, but he asked what kind of car. And she said, it's a Honda and I need to have an oil change. So you kind of had to guess it was a car appointment. All right, very good. And how about what day? What day is the appointment? What day is her new appointment? There we go. All right, Nuri, great job. Tuesday at 10 a.m. So that is great. And last question is who, what, when, where, why, how. How about who? Did anybody catch the who? Who called? This was pretty fast. Did anybody get the name of the person? I do have let me see. Okay, Nuri, you got the last name. Last name is Rodriguez. Great. And first name was Alice. Alice Rodriguez. All right. So you got the last name. First name was Alice. And I have the text here so we can go back and check. So I need to reschedule my car appointment. Yeah, so she did say car appointment. And then what's your date and time? Okay, we're running out of time. I don't think we have enough time for another dialogue, but let's practice writing. So let's do a little writing practice for the next 5 minutes or so. I want you guys to write a few sentences to either to make, change, or reschedule, or cancel an appointment. So it can be very short. Let's say 2 or 3 sentences. Imagine that you're writing an email to someone, like a doctor's office, hairdresser. Who else could you write to? Car mechanic, to change your appointment. So it's important to go back and say, who are you? What are you writing for? When is your appointment? And then maybe why. Why do you need to reschedule? All right, so Neri says, I thought when she was giving the car's brand that she was giving an address. Okay, so Honda Civic, 2014 Honda Civic. Yeah, it could be confusing because it's a number, right? 2014 might be like an address, but that's fine, right? That's pretty funny. All right, so let's do a little writing practice, and then we'll see if anybody wants to do some speaking practice after. So your job is to write a short message to make, reschedule, or cancel an appointment. So I'll give you, a few minutes to write a short message, put it in the chat, and I'd like to see your spelling, your grammar, your punctuation. All of those things are really important. So now is a great chance for you to practice. So don't try to do all of those things. Don't make, reschedule, and cancel. Just choose one. I want to make an appointment, or I want to reschedule my appointment, and say who you are and why. And if you're watching the replay of this live stream, please, you can answer in the chat, or you can send me an email, and I'll just share my email right now. So it's down there, ian@rightstartcanada.ca. Feel free to send me an example message. I'll check it over and I'll get back to you. All right. Does anybody want to do that now during the class time? Okay, I've got a couple more minutes. Okay, great. So Nuri again. Hello, Miss. I want to book an appointment with Dr. White. I want to know if he can fit in between 2 or 3 p.m. Great. Almost perfect. I think that's a great message. I would change a couple things. So one thing I would change, Nuri, is Miss. Right. In my experience, some women don't like the word miss. A lot of women don't like the word miss. It sounds, it's not bad, right? But it sounds like, yeah, it's not that you don't respect them. Miss. Some women think it makes them sound old. Some women think it makes them sound young. But I would say either hello, just hello, right? Hello is better than hello, miss, right? So just say hello or good morning, right? You don't have to say miss or mister, just hello. Hello, I want to book an appointment with Dr. White. That's perfect. I want to know if he can fit me in. So you have to say fit me in between 2 or 3 o'clock. Does that make sense? So fit in is great, but you have to say fit who in? Fit me in. Fit my son in. Fit us in, right? But so with fit in, you have to say who. Fit who in. Between 3 or 4 o'clock, and the rest is great. You're laughing. I know. Yeah. So miss is a tricky one. Miss or ma'am or Mrs. You can get in some trouble with those words. So best not to get in trouble and don't use the word miss. All right. Other than that, those two things I would change, Nuri. So change miss and change fit me in. And then you have a perfect message. All right. Great work. So let's just see. That's pretty much it for tonight's lesson. If anybody wants to chat, we've got a few minutes left. If you want to join in tonight's chat and say hello, you can. So this is open to anybody. You can't do this afterwards. I'm just going to put this in the chat. So if you want to join in, you can invite. Copy. If you want. So I think we'll do this regularly, the last, say, 5 minutes of the class or so. If somebody wants to join in, they can. You can copy this, paste it into your browser, and then we'll chat for a few minutes. You can ask any question you want, or we can practice scheduling an appointment if you like. So maybe we'll try to do this every class. The last 5 or 10 minutes, we can have chat time. 1 or 2 or 3 people can join us on the live stream. And this is a good way for you to practice your speaking, because I know we get a lot of listening practice, reading practice, vocabulary practice, but I've noticed a lot of people are asking for speaking practice. So if you want to practice your speaking, we'll do it the last 5 or 10 minutes of the live streams. And I'll stick around a few more minutes if anybody wants to join. If you're too shy, that's okay, because this will be on Facebook and YouTube. If you're shy and you don't want to talk, that's fine. If you don't want to have your camera on, that's fine too. So leave your camera off. I'm okay with that. And we can just chat for a few minutes. And maybe you don't want to join today, but next time you can plan if you need to comb your hair or put on makeup or whatever. We'll do it next week too. I don't know what next week's topic is, but it will be a good one. Okay, so I don't see anybody joining. That's fine. Maybe next week. You can plan to join next week. We'll have a little chat, practice your speaking, and maybe we'll have a few people on so you can make some new friends. All right, so we are pretty much out of time. Hope you enjoyed tonight's lesson. If you don't follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, please do so. And if you have any questions or anything, you can get a hold of me, Ian at rightstartcanada.ca. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for enjoying tonight's lesson. I hope you learned something, and I hope you keep coming back and enjoying more and more lessons from us. Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.